Hi there, this is Brian Choi, Managing Partner and CEO of the Food Institute. We're here at NRA 2025. The atmosphere is electric here. I'm here with DJ White and Erica Holland-Toll. Welcome to the Food Institute program.
Great to be here.
So DJ, let's start off with you. Tell us a little bit about Core Foodservice.
So Core Foodservice is part of the broader 𝗂𝗏𝘁 group. And our responsibility is to really call on and maintain the food service component of 𝗂𝗏𝘁 group. We call on a bunch of different customers. So if you kind of think about all of the away from home meal occurrences that are happening, and those are happening in restaurants, obviously, chain restaurants, which we call on. We also call on, if you look at the non-commercial space, for example, so hospitals, healthcare, long-term care facilities, business and industry accounts. So if you think about cafeterias and places like that, those are all places where our salespeople are calling on. K through 12, so the education space is enormously important to us. I would say the university, college and university segment. So all of those places are good traditional food service kind of, so you've got to think beyond just the restaurants. And so now, as being part of the broader 𝗂𝗏𝘁 group, we're also exploring new food service spaces, like, for example, retail perimeter, which traditionally you look at a retail kind of grocery store, and now the perimeter of those are starting to turn into really away from home meal occurrences, and they're using many more food service products there. Or if you look at the convenience trade, for example, they're all restaurants popping up inside of convenience stores, and they have needs for value-added food service products. And so those are also great places for us to go. So that's kind of a collective of all of the different places that you might see a core food service rep representing the brands that we take to market. In the last year, we've continued to expand our business, and so we acquired a company called the Culinary Edge, and so that's an adjacent kind of service that we offer as an agency. And so Erica will go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
So I'm the Culinary Director at the Culinary Edge. We've been around for about 24 years now, and our role as a food and beverage innovation company is to provide the overarching trends as they relate to a specific brand and specific operations. So we're consulting across the whole restaurant itself. So taking a look at everything from who their customer is and what that customer needs to how that specific concept is delivering upon their brand, and then making sure that the food that we bring to life is operationally feasible, whether it's across supply chain or tools and training or techniques and time of service.
We all know that the industry is facing a lot of challenges. And so what are companies doing to navigate some of these challenges, DJ?
It's really about driving consistency, because if you look at the last few years, obviously we've faced a tremendous amount of inflationary pressure, and we're seeing that as consumers when we're going into restaurants or when we're eating away from home. And so the things that we can do to best serve them is a couple of things. First off, driving consistency. You look at labor challenges, for example, value-added products that are kind of speed scratch, if you will. So those products that need a value proposition or to be presented to those consumers or those customers, that's where we can really thrive, right? And so we can help them with creating consistent cost, as well as offering opportunities for them to differentiate their menus in terms of LTOs. Adding one additional product into their pantry, so to speak, can help them maybe offer a new limited time offer that can drive excitement with their consumers.
Erica, anything that you'd like to add?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the biggest strengths of the 𝗂𝗏𝘁𝘁 group and of Core and of the Culinary Edge is the opportunity that we have to get in front of operators and talk to operators and really be empathetic listeners. So at the Culinary Edge, we've actually just released a report called the Pulse Report, where we've talked with our operating partners to learn from them many of these challenges and what it is that they are looking for to solve them. So whether it's a value opportunity, losing customers frequency, we're seeing that there's opportunities to bring in traffic through lower price points. We look at how successful Chili's was recently with their value drive. And so using those opportunities to leverage ways to bring in speed scratch products, bring in +1 products, but also speak to the trends that we know that our customers are looking for to help to drive that frequency back up again so that people feel like they're really getting their money's worth.
And Erica, you just mentioned trends here. So what are the top culinary trends that you're seeing in the US right now, what's hot?
Wow, what a great question. I think this is such a pivotal time to be in the culinary industry, right? The demographic dollars are really starting to change. If we think about Gen Z, their pocket share is rising, right? So they're out of their millennial parents' home, they're starting to spend their own money, and when we think about value, we also think about social media, right? So thinking about what looks great on the screen, what kind of food is it that I want to take a picture of that represents me? And a lot of that has to do with the authenticity of flavors. So we think about global flavors. Gen Z isn't necessarily thinking about global as much as they're thinking about Vietnamese or Northern Indian versus Southern Indian or Thai food. So it's a really fascinating time to play in trends and to be able to bring in flavors that are closer to being real, whether it's street food trends or it's bringing them together around a hot pot experience or any kind of like shared meal. So this is a generation that was hit pretty hard by COVID, and now they're starting to return back out into restaurants looking for these experiences that are going to bring them together, not just looking for a meal that they're going to consume while they're staring at their phone anymore. So whether it's spicy, heat, specific chili varietals, maybe it's Calabrian if we're thinking about Italian food, maybe it's a ghost pepper if we really want spicy. It's not just about heat anymore. It's about targeted heat.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. DJ White and Erica Holland-Toll, thanks for spending time with the Food Institute.
Yeah, thank you so much.